We're grateful that 19 of them are out of the hospital already. And I will say it raises broader questions about air traffic and air safety. Look, just a couple of weeks ago, we saw the horrific accident outside Ronald Reagan National Airport that took the lives of 67 souls. Just last week, I went and toured the wreckage of that American Airlines plane and of that Black Hawk helicopter. Truly a horrific accident. I will say with both of these accidents, the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, is conducting an investigation. And I have worked very closely with the NTSB for a long time. They have very serious professionals. They recreate exactly what happened. They examine the evidence, and we need to know precisely what caused the accident in Toronto and precisely what caused the accident outside D.C.
Well, I was doing a little research, and I see that back in December, you were calling or making statements that we need to modernize our
yes.
airlines, our airports, our system, FAA system. So now, of course, I'm paying a lot of attention to what you said. What's the modernization that we so desperately need?
Well, listen, when it comes to air traffic control in the United States, we really are using 1950s technology. It is literally radar and little slips of paper that the air traffic controllers are using, and they're monitoring where the planes are. With respect to the accident that happened at Reagan Airport, it is very possible that updated technology using GPS, using precise locations, would have prevented that accident. I'll tell you, it is also troubling in that it appears right now that the Army's Black Hawk helicopter had a technology called ATSB out, which is advanced technology to give the precise location of the helicopter. The Army had that turned off, and there's an exception in the FAA's rules. Generally, commercial aircraft are required to have ATSB out, but the Army has an exception to that. And I got to tell you, for the Senate Commerce Committee, I expect we're going to revisit that. In this case, the Black Hawk helicopter was not on some deeply classified national security flight, but it was rather a routine training mission. And I can see no good reason why in a routine training mission you would not have ATSB out, turned on. That also could have prevented that accident. All of that being said, Greta, with respect to both of these accidents, we need to allow the NTSB to conduct this investigation, to look at the evidence, and to make a determination, not jumping to conclusions, but based on what actually caused the accidents.
Well, the ATSB being out on that Black Hawk helicopter here at the end of January at Reagan Airport was human error. It wasn't a lack of modernization. I mean, we had the technology. Would you agree on that? I mean, that was just that someone decided not to use it.
Well, it's actually, some of it is human error, but some of it is policy. So the military, there is an exception to the requirement of ATSB out for military flights, law enforcement flights, and emergency medical flights. And it appears the Army has a routine policy of turning ATSB out off because of that exception. I think that routine policy needs to be revisited, and this is a point that I've made to the FAA, to the NTSB, and to the Pentagon, that we need to look at that. I think beyond that, though, modernizing air traffic control technology would have given the air traffic controller a greater ability to see precisely where the plane was and the Black Hawk helicopter was. Based on a preliminary review, the NTSB is going to make a determination as to what mistakes led to this accident. There was at least one, if not multiple, egregious mistakes. If you look at the back and forth with the air traffic controller and the pilots of both the plane and the helicopter in D.C., at one point the air traffic controller asked the helicopter pilot, "Do you see the regional jet?" And the answer is, "Yes, I see it. I have visual confirmation." The air traffic controller did not specify which jet. This is a busy airport with lots of jets. The natural inference is the helicopter pilot was looking at a different jet rather than the one that was on final approach. Advanced technology might well have prevented this. We'll have more when we have the NTSB report. But we also need to assess, are there changes in policy